Yeah,
Give me a cute trash.
just go.
Might have to go again.
Just go.
Just follow my moves and sneak around. Be careful not to make a sound. Don't touch that. We are number one.
As years go by, the ideas and concepts for graphic novels start to blend in with one another. This is especially evident with the now worn-out horror genre, which is now filled with oversaturated concepts that are recycled annually. These trends range from below-average zombie stories to your mediocre vampire romance plots. However, if you look long and hard enough, you'll find something truly unique that stands out among the rest. You might just find Uzumaki. Uzumaki, which translates to Spiral, was written by the acclaimed horror mangaka Junji Ito between the August of 1998 and September of 1999. This is Ito's second major title, the first being Tomi, which was written 11 years prior. Despite the fact that he's still writing horror manga to this day with things like The Fragments of Horror and the upcoming US release of Dissolving Classroom, Uzumaki remains to be the magnum opus of Ito's career. Uzumaki takes place in Karuzo-cho, a small seaside town in Japan that harbors a dark secret which resonates within the town's twisting streets in Dark Ocean Bay. Odd occurrences and strange enigmas mystify and shock the hapless denizens, and as the story progresses, the town spirals further into chaos. Our main protagonist, Kirie Goshima, and her boyfriend, Suichi Saito, always seem to be caught in the middle of these strange events that are caused by a singular force, a hypnotic and mysterious spiral, a shape that seems to have an effect on everyone and everything in Karuzo-cho. However, the spiral's curse seems to vary from chapter to chapter. See, Uzumaki's story is very episodic in nature, as the chapters all have their own self-contained plot and have barely any correlation with the chapters that come before and after it. In one chapter, we might have a girl whose head is slowly becoming a spiraling black hole, and later we'll have a chapter that is dedicated to people turning into horrific snail-like abominations. It is only until the last volume that the story and chapters start to connect. If there was anything to really compare Uzumaki to, aside from the obvious inspiration from H.P. Lovecraft, it would be most likely the X-Files or the Twilight Zone. It has that kind of monster of the week feel to it that works more often than not. That's not to say there aren't some stinkers in the story. Chapters 6 and 7 are comically bad, and nearly kill the mood that the story was trying to set up for those previous chapters. Luckily, these chapters are fairly short and are just small campy stories in an otherwise really scary one. If there was another problem with Uzumaki, it would be its final volume. It's still a very good volume, but it's definitely the weakest of the three. It has the same problem as the aforementioned X-Files, where towards the end of the story, the book tries to tie everything together with an overarching plot. But because of this, we lose some of the cool aspects that are only possible with the episodic format. We don't get to really see many new monsters in Volume 3, and the way Ito tries to tie everything together is kind of lackluster in itself. Despite this, the best chapters in Volume 1 through 3 outweigh the so-so conclusion of the series. If there's anything that stays consistently good throughout the story, is Ito's amazing artwork. Uzumaki definitely shows his growth as an artist in the 11 years since he wrote Tomi back in 1987. Every page has lush details and shading that brings other graphic novel artists like Frank Miller and Dave Gibbons to shame. This level of detail is especially evident in the larger panels, some of which can take up to 2 pages. The artwork definitely goes hand in hand with the already strange and surreal story that Ito has put together. Uzumaki has seen large success across the globe and has been re-released numerous times, the most recent example being the rather nifty Omnibus edition, which packages all 3 of the volumes into a large 600-page hardcover that consists anywhere around $15 to $20 on eBay. It also comes with a few bonuses, such as the lost chapter that was omitted in the original run of Uzumaki, as well as the comical afterwords compiled into one big afterword. If horror comics and graphic novels aren't cutting it for you anymore, and you want something shockingly original, then Uzumaki is the book for you.